Have you ever wanted extra levels? Well, say no more, because I have the perfect tower for you. It's called Tower of Wanting Extra Levels. See, Duke wanted lots of gameplay, and what better way to do that than to make a 30-minute long tower with extra levels of punishment. But all that aside, let's begin. I've played a little bit of this tower before, and I got hooked. From what I had played, this tower is a longer version of Tower of Yearning Success. But of course, every good tower comes with a bunch of fails, this one included. So, what do we got here? Basic gameplay, falling balls, dark maze, more basic gameplay, and... Wait, who's that? See that question mark right there? That is not something you should mess with. It leads to nowhere and is just a waste of time. Got that from experience. There's this push box section, right? Trust me, you do not want to jump in that hole. I learned that from experience too. I know you've been wondering where this question mark leads, and to that I say this. You get sent to an unescapable Thanos conveyor room, and you guessed it, I learned that from experience. Now we've reached floor 5, this is where the fun begins. Starting off with a neon rotated ladder thing and a wrap around the spinner. Next we have this fill our push box puzzle where you have to prevent both push boxes from falling into the red. After that there's this Citadel of laptop splitting type section, but unlike COLS where you have to get 634 buttons to progress, here you only need 2. The first one is a free button, but the second one, not so much. You have to do kinda mirrored gameplay, it's basically just a copy of the black parts below but invisible. Floor 7 on the other hand had a lot of funny things. There's tight ropes with uncollidable parts, a buggy X-pusher section, the tower of screen punching ball, and scary X-pushers that end your run. I accidentally pressed my spacebar. I deeply regretted it. This time it took a whole 22 minutes to get back to where I was before, and I walked off the platform exactly 30 seconds later. This was also around the time when I finally reached the new PB, further than I had ever gotten, even further than the runs that I did before starting this video. You know, the runs that I got my experience from. Floor 8 started off with a Gilbert maze. Not much of a maze because there was practically only one path that you could follow, but the main twist of this is that you take damage much faster than usual, and to compensate, you also heal faster. I got down to 15 health at one point, and yet, as you'd imagine, this was the most terrifying moment of my life. You know, I wouldn't want to lose another half-hour run on something like that. After that maze, there's an edgy darkness section, but the exit is blocked off. See that question mark over there? You actually want to go in this one because it leads to a death pit, and of course, I fell. Fell on the required button, that is, because I'm too good at the game to fall in a challenging tower. That whole thing led to floor 9. This floor was pretty short, no outside sections, no extra gameplay. That's because this floor leads to Side B. Side B starts off with somewhat of a puzzle. You have to avoid the lighter platforms, then there's some one-studs and a walking simulator. Nothing much really. The gameplay stays bland until this section in floor 7. There's a really long thrust section that I really didn't understand. At least it was easy. After that you jump down to a balloon and move on to Side C. There's yet another question mark that leads to nothing useful. Thanks, Juke. There's a TOC section right after though. Clearly, Juke was a fan of it here. Remember when I got down to 15 health in that Gilbert maze and called that the most terrifying moment of my life? I've changed my mind. This is the most terrifying thing I've ever done. An outside section on floor 8. Falling sends you back to floor 7, which doesn't seem like much, but if you roll back the footage you'll see that I was here 12 minutes ago. That's almost the length of an entire normal tower. Anyway, now we do this really long thrust section that I really didn't understand. And it was not easy. There's a way to skip this entire section, but I was too stubborn to do that, and after a lot of struggle, I eventually gave up and used the skip. Speaking of skips, let's just skip to floor 10, there's nothing interesting here anyway. Floor 10 starts off with another puzzle. You have to do an obby to press the pink button which spawns the pink push box into the spinning X pusher. Next you have to push the X pusher to send the pink push box flying. It should hit the pink button which activates a pink platform that you continue the gameplay from. For some reason there's a ridiculously slow zipline here, but besides that, my heart was pounding at this point, so I couldn't afford to fail this frame off. And finally, there's the Neo maze section. Can't really fail this now, can I? This tower was a great experience. It's not as complicated or quirky as some of Juke's other towers, like Go Hat or Steeple of Fading Memories, but it's still really fun to go through. The only drawback is the overuse of these question marks that lead to nothing. I assume they're for some sort of secret ending, but for now I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Difficulty chart says that this tower is high challenging, but I kinda disagree with that. This tower is way too hard and punishing to be challenging. I think it's at least low intense. Like, you can't just tell me that this is easier than Impossible Expectations.